If you couldn't guess, we are going to talk about Barbie. That's why I'm dressed in pink. Barbenheimer has caused an explosion at the box office. That's Barbie and Oppenheimer. And the results of this mega box office clash are in. Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer has triumphed at the Indian box office, and this is the exact opposite of the film's business at the US box office, where it has been outperformed by Greta Gerwig's Barbie. So Indian audience accepted Oppenheimer, whereas in US, Life in Plastic, it's fantastic. Let's have a look at the numbers. In India, Oppenheimer is the clear winner, earning over 48 crore rupees in its first weekend. This is higher than some of this year's Hindi films such as Tu Jhooti Main Makkar and Bhola. Barbie closed weekend one at about 17 crore rupees. It should be noted here that Oppenheimer released in more than Indian screens than Barbie did. On the other hand, Barbie has absolutely crushed the US box office with a $155 million first weekend. Oppenheimer is in second place with over $80 million, which in itself is a whopping total. We should also note that both these films are really high budgeted. And to break this, in these figures, we have Girish Wankhede, who's movie trade analyst, joining us on the live broadcast here. Very warm welcome, Girish. Why do you think this has happened, that India has accepted Oppenheimer, whereas in the US, it's Barbie which is triumphing at the box office?
The first reason is the bigger release of Oppenheimer. It has released in 1,900 approximate screens, whereas Barbie was a limited screen release with around 900 screens. So that is the first reason. Secondly, the advance booking of Oppenheimer opened around 10 days before, and it sold almost 14 lakh worth tickets. Whereas the advance booking of Barbie was opened 3 days prior. So obviously there is a big difference when you pre-book the tickets. And the third most important was India is very much in awe of Christopher Nolan because he was here in India. Our press has been very generous in writing about him, and it's a serious cinema. People were already warmed up after Mission Impossible and Fast and Furious, and this was a great opportunity for them to go for this film. So because of a bigger release, Oppenheimer has been able to do more business.
But do you think Indian audience is already spoiled for choices when it comes to colorful, happy, fairy world films? Probably that's why they were like, okay, this we can get here in the Bollywood as well. Let's go watch Nolan.
Yeah, we do get. And then there is a Karan Johar's film. So we have all these films which we are anyway used to. And Barbie is a great phenomena. We are there in India also. We have seen girls going with pink dresses to watch this film. So obviously there is a great acceptability of the film. But Christopher Nolan is one notch above any day.
And then let's also talk about the vacuum which was there in the global box office. It wasn't a very great period before Mission Impossible. Can you take us through that period?
Yeah, it was very sad because the films which were highly anticipated, like Flash, it was a very big film. It didn't do well. And there was a animation film called Elemental. It also didn't do well. And there was a Guy Ritchie film, Operation Fortune, I guess. And then there was Dungeons and Dragons. So these were all super potential oriented films, very big budgeted films which didn't do well on box office. And there was dearth of great films, great successful films in Hollywood box office. And as soon as we saw this clash in fact has paid them well. People were talking that audience will be divided, but no, audience has been able to watch both the films, and that too with whooping numbers. So obviously that vacuum which was already created by all the biggies, it has suddenly filled. And how?
And Meera Rajput also spoke about this on her social media handles, that how Bollywood can do song and dance better than Hollywood, and probably that's why Indian audiences have been attracted towards Oppenheimer. And then there are a few people who also pointed out that, they thought it's a kid's film, like Juhi Parmar, TV actress. She posted on Instagram that she thought it was going to be a kid's film, and then she regretted, of course, because it has some sensitive topics, and of course it talks about issues which probably are not suitable for a kid.
Yeah, as I told you, this was not very aggressively marketed, and it was a limited release. That's why when people went to cinemas and when they watched the film, then they realized that it's amazing film. It has got everything. It has a great relevance. So on very first day, when you are doing a business of almost 5.5 crores, and you are doing a weekend business of around 19 crores, that is a great number. But obviously, if you compare it with Oppenheimer, it is 50 crores for a weekend, and that is a great number.
And let's also talk about the Tom Cruise effect, because it set the momentum right with Mission Impossible. That was a good start. Of course, everybody was happy that finally numbers for Hollywood films are reviving, and that kind of set the pace, right?
Exactly. And there was, even before that, there was Fast and Furious turns. There was a small contribution of John Wick also. So John Wick, then Fast and Furious, and suddenly Mission Impossible. It is one of the biggest franchises. And that was received well, it was written well about, and then it set the momentum, and then you have got a big clash. So obviously we were ready to come back to cinemas, and the way we are looking at the numbers in cinemas, it is heartwarming. We are still talking about some larger than life effects, and then Oppenheimer has IMAX, which they have promoted very aggressively.
Right.
So that IMAX experience was something which again pushed the envelope.
Exactly. And this is something that we don't really see in the Indian market. Two really massive films clashing.
Yeah.
Of course, we've seen during Om Shanti Om and Savarya, and then I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Gadar released with Lagan, I think.
Lagan or Dil.
Lagan, I mean, there have been clashes like that, but if you talk about 2023, producers shy away from releasing with another big film. We've seen that with Yodha and Merry Christmas. There's already been that debate. Why do you think that's the case here in our country?
Yeah, we actually, we always are very skeptical about the clashes. In past, only Sunny Deol's and Amir Khan films clashed, and they did well. Even I remember there was Golmaal and Fashion. Both were totally different films, and both were Diwali releases, and they did well. But here when Yodha has already announced their date, and then you are talking about Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas is Sriram Raghavan's and highly anticipated film, and Yodha is huge action-packed film. So when an action-packed film is pitted against something which is content-oriented, then obviously there is a fear factor. And that is not well, because we need to space up our release plan. This was just like bolt in the blue, that someday you are already there with your huge release, and some other film is clashing with it. Yeah. So obviously there is a fear factor in India. But we think that with this example of Oppenheimer and Barbie, we should be more confident. We should be more very, very secure about our own content. If the content is good, then not only 2, but 3 films can work in 1 week.
Yeah, it becomes a festival, and then cinema halls also come up with those great offers to attract audiences. Yeah. So thank you, Girish, for this insightful conversation. So the box office numbers have really spoken, but last week I went onto the streets of Delhi to ask folks which film they were going to watch first, Barbie or Oppenheimer. Here's what they said.
Barbie, Barbie, Barbie. Oppenheimer, this.
Barbie.
Two diametrically opposite films, Barbie and Oppenheimer. Which one are you going to watch and why?
I would go for Oppenheimer.
I am going to watch Barbie because I have been a Barbie fan since my childhood.
Definitely I'd go with Barbie because I'm a designer.
Oppenheimer,
Oppenheimer.
For me, it's going to be Oppenheimer because of Christopher Nolan.
Barbie. I don't know. It's just Barbie.
Barbie.
Why?
I don't want to give you a reason.
Barbie is a good enough reason, I believe.
Yeah.
Barbie.
I feel it's much more sensible rather than watching Barbie. It makes much more sense, and at least you learn something.
Let me also tell you about the advance booking facts. Right. So globally, Barbie is trumping over Oppenheimer. But in India, Oppenheimer is, of course, ahead, and Barbie advance bookings are trailing. Why do you think?
I don't know, actually that surprises me. I would have expected it to be the other way around. I would expect India to have more of an act.
Because we are filmy and colorful.
Yeah.
It has happened multiple times for Bollywood as well. For example, Om Shanti Om released with Savaria. Which one did you watch back then?
Om Shanti Om.
Savaria.
Oh, okay, that explains your choices right now as well, Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.